Hi, this is the presentation for Rekiapp that is being presented for the Global Hackathon about COVID-19 that is being developed globally. Rekiapp is a simple solution. I have it, you pick it up. What is the intention of Rekiapp? The idea is to solve the food issue in COVID lockdown times. It is estimated that currently more than a third of the global population is under lockdown. It's a lot of people that in this moment is having restriction of their mobility because of health issues. So what happens when a country goes in lockdown, when a lot of people is in lockdown? It happens that vulnerable people in quarantine does not have access to food because they cannot work outside. What is the issue with this? Most people who is low income work day by day. So when the lockdown comes, it affects the way they have to earn the money and affects the possibility to feed themselves. How much people could be in that situation? If we consider that 46% of the global population lives in a situation with less than $5.5 a day, they are vulnerable to be affected by a lockdown because they can't afford food. So it could be estimated that almost 1.2 billion of people in this moment is in this situation, being vulnerable because of the lockdown. What happens with the economy of vulnerable people? In normal times, people, low-income people that have informal jobs, like selling goods in the street, things that are depending on the day-to-day situation. When there's a lockdown, they have no access to the places because all public spaces are closed. Public transportation are reduced. Transit of people are also reduced. So they don't have access to the places where they normally work. They are forbidden to go to those places. And people are also forbidden to go to public spaces so they can find their clients, their common clients. Some of them have formal jobs, but very precarious jobs, and they belong to the low-tech companies. Is the kind of job that has to be in presence. They don't have access to telecommuting. They don't have access to the possibility to continue working outside their workplace. So when the lockdown happens, they are restricted to continue working in these formal jobs when they have it because the lockdown restricts the use of crowded spaces. So they don't have access to normal jobs, and unless they belong to essential business, like for example the manufacture of masks or those things that can be considered in this moment like an essential business, their workplaces are closed. So they are not receiving income in this moment because or they have informal jobs, or they have their workplaces closed. In normal times they have no saving capacity. Due to the fact that they have that low income, they don't have savings to support them. During lockdown, it is expected that people can be self-sustainable, and they can afford that. They don't have savings to do so. The other thing is that due to the way they work, they usually buy food in a daily basis. Depending on the income they receive daily, they have to purchase the food daily too. In lockdown, it is expected that people remain indoors and purchase food for a long period of time, but they can't afford that. They don't have the enough money to purchase food for long periods of time. So due to this situation, what is the proposed and the solution that is presented by Rekiapp? The idea is to connect vulnerable people with food resources and also provisioning food banks. Why also including food banks? Because there are organizations that have already contacted vulnerable people, know where they are, and they have storage for food. So we can contact directly families who are in a vulnerable position, or also food banks that can receive donation. So the idea is to take this huge population that is in lockdown and give them access to a communication resource that allows them to receive food through people that is donating food, because also donators are in lockdown. It's not easy to connect one to another because both sides are in lockdown. So it's important to give an easy way to connect the people who are able to donate food and the vulnerable families and the food banks that bring the food to the families. So how it works? Food banks and families can register to receive notification about food availability in a platform. So they register their interest, the kind of food they are looking for, and it's stored in the platform. When a person wants to donate a certain amount of food, the idea is that locate those resources and the person have them, so they can use an app, in this case Rekiapp, to register the amount of food that is available for donation and sends a request to pick up. The request also has the information of address of the person who has the food available. When this happens, the platform selects food banks or families that need these special food resources that is offered by the donator, and sends an SMS to the food bank or the family. Why did I choose SMS? Because in the case of families, many of them don't have access to internet. So it is important that the notification arrives in a feasible way for them. SMS is widely spread in much countries and is affordable for many people. So the idea to receive an SMS with the information is feasible for families. Probably food banks have internet access and have the ability to receive a notification directly in application. But in this case, both sides are being receiving the notification in the same way, in an SMS. Once the notification is received, then the recipient has to arrange the pickup of the food according to the lockdown requirements, because it depends on each country what is the possibility to pick up, if there's delivery services still working, or it is necessary to call the authorities. It depends on the special case, and it happens outside the platform. It is necessary that the recipient of the food agrees a way to receive the help. So the application joins the donors with the recipients, and after that they pick up the food. So let's see a demo. Okay, so we have the profile of the person who has the food, has the information of the address, who is the person, and it also can have a record of how much this person has donated in the past. When a person has some amount of food to donate, then it registers what it has, the amount, the unit, in this case kilograms, what is the item that is going to be donated, and add elements to a list. Once the list is finished, you can consult the list items, what is possible to donate, what is the availability for this person in this. In this case, we can have historical information about previous donation. Once this is ready, so the person request a pickup, and then the platform selects the person who is going to receive this, who is going to receive the donation. And in this case, the application sends a notification through SMS, like you see in the when you can see it. So it sends an SMS with the information about what is available and what is the address to pick it up. So after that, in another application or in another way, they can agree how to pick up the food. About the historical donation, so it is possible to have reports of what has been donated in past months, and for each item, what is the kind of donation that has been previously received. So this is the brief of Rekiapp. The idea is to connect food resources with people in need during the COVID-19 lockdowns. Thank you so much for your attention, and you can see more information in the GitHub repo. And if you need more info, there's also an email in the presentation. Thank you so much.